Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Denali and I'm a full-time reseller on eBay and Poshmark. My store and closet name is DUCHO, E-L-D-U-C-H-O, and you can find me on Instagram at DUCHO Thrift. If you're not subscribed to my channel and you like reselling content, hit the button down below. And if you enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up on your way out. I appreciate it. Alright, so I'm here with a popular question / topic that I get asked about frequently, and that is thrifting and traveling. How to do it, where to do it, everything surrounding it, all of the above. So I'm going to try my best to answer it in this video. Just based on my experience, obviously this is not the rule of law, this is just what I do. So yeah, here goes. So I took my first traveling and thrifting trip early last spring, and I went to Denver, and it was a great trip, and also it was stressful just packing everything up, getting it home, figuring out how this whole thing worked. And since then I've been on, I don't know how many since then, maybe like 6 or 7 trips. I think it's been more actually. But anyways, I've been on quite a few, and I've gone to Denver and Los Angeles. Those are the 2 locations that I've gone to. And I get better and smarter every time that I do it, because you get burned in some way, or you learn like, oh, I should do this or I shouldn't do that each time. So when I went to Denver, I did not ship anything home. I actually took everything in just 3 suitcases. I'm saying that out loud and I'm like, gosh, I could not do that now. How the heck did I do that then? But I was able to do that then. So if you can take stuff in suitcases, that makes it a little bit easier because you're not having to ship anything back home, but still is going to cost you money. So with that said, I guess the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm answering questions based upon questions that I took in, and I'm answering them based upon questions that I got from people. So people want to know, how do I decide where to go? Well, I mean, I've only gone to 2 places. I mean, I've thrifted locally and I thrift when I've gone on vacations. However, solely for sourcing purposes, I guess that I just found places based upon the reselling community, and I looked at people that I follow that find really great items, many different people, not just one person in particular. And I saw that they were getting really great stuff, and I thought, maybe I can get that good stuff. So I guess that kind of answers like, how do I decide where I want to go? So you just have to find somewhere that you think might be good. I would assume that a metropolitan area probably has good stuff. There's, you know, more money. People are making more money in those areas, and so they have more disposable income to spend on shoes, clothing, accessories, all that sort of stuff. So then they're donating it instead of doing something else with it. I think one thing you also need to think about when traveling to source, is that this is not a vacation. At least that's not how I treat it. If you want, and I'm not a tax person, but if you want to be able to source and travel and be able to write it off as some sort of business expense, then it needs to be treated as a business trip. And so when I source to travel, there is no fun happening. That's not to say that the trip isn't fun, but I don't, you know, when I'm in Los Angeles, I don't go to Disneyland. I don't go to a spa. I know some great spas there I'd love to go to. I don't go to a movie. Literally, from big to small, I don't do it. My biggest indulgence, which is part of the business expense as well, is going for ramen and also getting Shake Shack. So my meals, that's the most exciting thing that I get to have, is something that I don't maybe get every day back home. So just keep that in mind, that this maybe isn't a family trip. You're gonna want to find, either do it yourself, or like go yourself, or find somebody that's also a reseller that would want to travel with you. I go with my friend Ty because we're best friends and it's fun. And it also cuts down on the cost of the trip when you have somebody else there who can help you pay for a rental car and all that different stuff. So, which gets me into my next topic, which is what are the logistics of this trip? So First, you need to find an airline ticket that's inexpensive to the place that you want to go. I mean, really, the trip needs to be as inexpensive as possible, right? Because you're looking to make money off of this trip. There should be a return on this trip. And so the more money you spend on an airline ticket or other business expenses, it's going to take away from your profit. So finding a cheap airline ticket, you know, going on kayak.com and looking at airline tickets and looking at their ticket calendar and seeing like, okay, when is the best time to go? Thinking logistically yourself, right? When are the best times to go thrifting? I don't know if there's a clear-cut answer to that. However, I think we all think certain things like, well, I think that going a Monday through a Wednesday is the best, or a Tuesday through a Friday, or whatever that might be. So think logistically in that way of the days of the week. Also think about holidays or events that might be happening in that place that you're going to. For instance, you know, if it's during Christmas time, maybe there's going to be less people there, so maybe that's a good time to go. Not sure if you want to leave your family at Christmas, but that's just an option you're going to have to, or decision you're going to have to make. And then also, when you're looking at airlines, looking for one that possibly will give you a free checked bag. So I fly Alaska Airlines, and I do get my first bag checked for free, so that saves me a little bit of money. The second bag costs $40, I believe, and then the third bag jumps to $75. So that's a little bit more expensive. I know that there are other airlines out there that will offer you 2 free checked bags. However, that's not the airline I fly. And not all airlines fly into the places that you're looking to go to. So some of the places that I have gone and traveled and thrifted at, I'm flying into smaller airports. So keep in mind that a lot of times metropolitan areas will have multiple airports in the surrounding area. So you'll want to make sure that you're picking the best airport that's going to be closest to the locations that you want to be around. I know that you have a car, but even just getting that stuff from point A to point B at the end of the trip can be a lot. So things to think about. Another thing you'll need to think about is where are you going to stay? I mean, in a perfect world, you have someone you could stay with, so you'd stay for free. But if you don't have that option, then you're going to want to look into a hotel or an Airbnb. I have done all 3. I've done all of those options. And I think my favorite option is staying at an Airbnb. I mean, staying with a friend is great too, but let's assume that you're going between Airbnb and a hotel. I like to stay at an Airbnb because, well, let's see, why do I like to stay at an Airbnb? Because the ones that I look for, I'll look for a washer and dryer. So being able to access a washer and dryer to be able to clean some of the items before you bring them home, that's really helpful. Airbnbs are usually a little bit more flexible. They let you check in earlier, they let you check out later. So those are some benefits as well. And what else? I don't know. They can feel a little more homey. With a hotel, I would say one of the pluses of staying at a hotel that could also be provided to you at an Airbnb if you checked with the owner, but you could possibly get package pickup at a hotel, and I have utilized that option before, which was really helpful. I had very heavy boxes at the end of my trip, and I had USPS and FedEx actually pick them up from the lobby in the hotel, so that was that was really nice. However, cons of staying at a hotel are that if you want to be able to check out later on the day that you leave, they usually require some sort of payment for that. So it can range anywhere from $20 to, I don't know, $50 to $75. So that's just going to be an extra expense that somebody at an Airbnb might waive for you. And then also, depending on if, again, you're in a metropolitan area, is the parking at the hotel going to be free or not free? If it's not free, that's just another expense that you're going to have to pay when you stay at a hotel, assuming that parking will be free at your Airbnb, which has been my experience. So things to think about. Another cost that you're going to have to pay is for a rental car. Now, certainly you don't have to get one, and you could use an Airbnb, or not Airbnb, but an Uber or Lyft, or some sort of taxi service between your location that you need to be picked up, but I could see how that would add up, as well as depending on where you're sourcing at. I source at the Goodwill outlet. It's just a lot of things that I'm usually bringing back, and I feel like that could overwhelm a taxi service, so that's not necessarily the best option for me. And then in terms of what you should bring with you, bring as little as you can, because you need to maximize your storage space in your luggage. So packing light clothing, like that in terms of ounces and poundage, you really don't want it to weigh a lot. You don't want to bring a lot of things with you. If you can avoid bringing your hair dryer and your straightener and all the things that are going to weigh a lot more, just let your hair air dry. I also recommend bringing some sort of luggage scale, because the airlines do have usually a weight limit. It's around 50 pounds. So let you usually go over by like 2 to 3 pounds. But many a time I check it, or I go to the airport and I'm at like 56 and I'm having to take stuff out. So having a luggage scale can be helpful for when you're packing things up, to just kind of know, are you in the ballpark of where you need to be? Next thing is just looking at the return on investment of where you're going. Now, when I have thrifted to travel, I don't go to regular thrift stores. To me, that would not be a good return on investment for the entire trip. So I go to the Goodwill outlet, and I'm looking to get a massive amount of really great items. Now, a thrift store and a Goodwill outlet, they are kind of a crapshoot, right? You never know what's going to be there. However, at least at the Goodwill outlet, the cost of the items are very low. You're paying by the pound there, anywhere from $1.29 to $1.99 perhaps. So that's an easier pill to swallow when you're picking up, Free People for 75 cents. However, if I went to a thrift store, that Free People item would probably be priced at around maybe $8.99. That's not going to be a good return on investment for me for the trip. So you need to think about where you're going. So if you're asking me, if your intent is not to go to a Goodwill outlet, then I probably wouldn't recommend sourcing and traveling, because I'm not sure that there's just that guaranteed return on investment for you, unless you told me, no, Denali, I'm flying to Beverly Hills and I'm going to clean out 10 celebrities' closets. Then I'd be like, yeah, okay, for sure, do that. Otherwise, I don't know. For me, I can't see it. So lastly, another popular question that I get is, how the heck am I going to get this stuff home? That's a really great question. So you can ship it home, right? That's how you're going to do it. I mean, if you can get everything in your suitcases, that's a perfect scenario. But if you cannot, then you're going to need to ship it home, and you're going to have to explore your shipping options. I have used FedEx in the past, and that has worked well for me. But you will want to price it out, USPS, UPS, and how long it's going to take. Each service kind of varies. So I recommend just going onto one of their websites and literally like typing in the size of a box and putting in 50 or 100 pounds, and from the location that you're going to be at to where you're shipping it back to, and seeing what it's going to look like, so there's no surprises. So it's kind of an easy answer if you just go onto any of those, websites and check it out. So you also need to get boxes while you're there. If you could get one into your suitcase, that'd be great. And I'm like, I don't know if I could, but maybe I could. It wouldn't really matter. I mean, I'm just buying them from a Staples anyways, but I usually grab the largest box that they have. Sometimes I'll grab multiples of that and start filling it up as the trip goes. You don't want to save everything for the last day. Really be packing as you go. I bring tape usually from home, so that's just one less thing I have to spend money on. But again, keep in mind that's going to take up a little bit of weight in the suitcase. So, and you'll also need to drop off what you're shipping or get a pickup. Like I said before, a pickup is super nice to be able to get. If you could get it from your Airbnb, awesome. Or the hotel lobby will do that for you, even better. However, I have absolutely had to go to the FedEx and drop it off. In fact, this last trip that I went on, I had to strong arm this 80-pound box about 50 feet from where we stayed to my car, which was parked on the street, and I was flipping it the whole way there, like you see those CrossFit people doing with a tire. So, and it was about 80 degrees, 90 degrees out. I looked like a hot mess. I wish somebody had filmed it. Another thing you can do that I like to do is offer mystery boxes to other resellers or customers, whomever. This is a great way to be able to offset the cost of the trip, and you can also ship the items out from where you are to people. It'll just, it's just one less thing that you have to take home with you, and it's money that you can make to offset the cost of your trip and be able to offer really great items to people who maybe don't find these brands in their area. When I am traveling to thrift, I'm obviously going somewhere better than where the thrifting is where I am. And so, what would be maybe, exciting things for me back home are maybe more bread and butter in other places. And so I'm able to pick up some high-end pieces for myself and then offer some, not bread and butter, but nice pieces to other people. So doing mystery boxes has been a way for me to help offset that cost. But that's it, you guys. Those are my tips on thrifting and traveling. I'm no guru on it. I just get a little bit smarter each time that I do it. I do enjoy traveling and thrifting, albeit it's very stressful. However, I've gotten to meet some really great people when I've gone, which I think that is probably the most invaluable part of the trip, is meeting other resellers and making new friends. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions about traveling and thrifting that I didn't answer, let me know in the comments down below. But otherwise, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.